there, and welcome back to Hall of the Collector with me, Jace. Now, I've got to start off by saying, what was that yesterday? That was incredible. 35, I think, new subscribers in one day. I hit like 100 overnight, and what happened afterwards was just incredible. I just couldn't believe what was going on yesterday. So to all you new subscribers, welcome to my channel, and thank you ever so much, all of you, for subscribing. That was just, honestly, I was just every time I looked on and saw how many new subscribers there were, I just couldn't believe what was going on. So brilliant, thank you ever so much, guys. Everyone who's been here for the last, coming up to 2 months, I think it's 2 months on the 6th, they kind of got the gist of what I'm like and what I talk about. Basically, statues, premium statues, high quality statues, also some smaller stuff I get, art prints, original movie posters, chat about films, books, comics, games, all that kind of thing. So hopefully, I'm hoping there's a little bit of something in here for all of you. So anyway, excuse me, I've literally just come back from work about 10-15 minutes ago, so my head's a little bit woo. Somebody commented yesterday about an idea for a video, and I thought, well, what a fantastic idea. So I wanted to wind that off. So I actually sat in bed last night watching the darts, and I was actually sat doing a load of maths and calculations so I could give you some actual factual figures today. We'll get to that shortly. Excuse me. So what today's subject is going to be is way bills, import fees, tax, basically. And I can only really approach this subject in what I've paid on my orders and not what I've heard other people saying. So yeah, and now what I've done is I've gone through all the pieces I had last year. So that's 4 pieces from Prime 1, 2 pieces from Weta, scattered around the place. And what I've done is I've worked out the percentage that the way bill was, the import fee, to the price of the statue. Because what I don't want to do is sit here sort of going through how much I've paid for each piece and all that, because it kind of sounds like I'm showing off, and I'm not here to do that. And yeah, I've seen sort of that on other sort of channels where they just talk about the prices, and yeah. So I've just worked out, I've calculated what the statue cost me, what my way bill was, and I've got the percentage off that. It also makes it a lot easier to go through the list. Obviously, I've not calculated in the shipping costs, because the shipping costs are separate. So let's crack on. Now I've got a list. I've wrote a list down. So normally my recall's pretty bang on, and I can reel stuff off, but I wanted to make sure I got this bang on. So I wrote a list down, which is here. So are we ready, class? I'm going to crack off with the Prime 1 first. Now, I need you to go through the scales, because when I started collecting statues, I went from 6 scale statues, and I can remember I asked a question on one of the Facebook groups I was on in regards to way bills, import fees, whatever you want to refer to them as, because I couldn't work out why the price kept moving and it was bouncing around so much. Blood. Now, somebody told me that 6th scale and smaller is classed as a toy, and it has a higher tax bracket, whereas I don't know about 5th scale, I don't know where that falls, but certainly quarter scale upwards, so quarter, third, half, 1, is classed as art, and it has a much lower tax bracket. Now, that's what I was told a couple of years ago, or whenever it was, on one of the Facebook groups, and from what I've done, well, let's go for this and you make your own mind up, but I'm pretty sure I've made my mind up. So here we go. Are we ready? So the first ones I'm going to do are the Prime 1 pieces that I ordered. Now, for those of you who don't know, my Prime 1 pieces were all shipped from China. Prime 1 is Japan, but their warehouse that they ship from is in China. So all these pieces were shipped from China by air to the UK. So these are all the same, but pay attention to the scales here, guys, because there's different scales. Starting off with the T800, which is half scale. Came in 1 box. Now, I've just realised one thing I haven't done is go and get the exact weight. So the weights here are approximates that I can vaguely recall what they are. So the T800 came in one box, and I think he weighs about 28 kilos, I think. And his weigh bill worked out at 13% of the price of the statue. So that's the first one. The next one is the Predator quarter scale. Came in two boxes, and I think the combined weight of the Predator piece, I think it was certainly over 30 kilos anyway. I think it was about, I think combined it was about 30, 34, 35 kilos. And that came in at 5.6%. The weigh bill was 5.6% of the price of the statue. Next, I'll do Sauron. Again, quarter scale, two boxes. Combined weight of the two boxes again was just over 30 kilos, I think. His weigh bill came in at 5.8% of the price of the statue. Now, last is the Balrog. Two boxes, no scale. The Balrog was certainly the heaviest of them. I think he was knocking on the door of 40 kilos. He might have even been slightly over 40 kilos actually. But no scale. And the weigh bill on that was 28.6% of the price of the statue. Now obviously, excuse me, a terrible dry throat today. You've got to calculate in the fact that these pieces are being bought in US dollars. So there's the conversion rate to the pound to take into when I paid it, because I've wrote a note and kept notes of exactly how much each piece has cost me when I've paid for it. So you've got a little bit of wiggle room obviously there in how the pound and the dollar are doing at the time, but I think you can see a clear pattern there. Now, calculating them four pieces as an average across the four pieces, the weigh bills across the four pieces, it comes at an average of 13% each on them pieces. So obviously were it not for the Balrog piece, that average would be right down. The Balrog's knocked that up. So, okay, moving on. Now to the two Weta pieces. Now they're both up there. Both 1/6 scale. Both came in just one box. Both the weights come in at Galadriel, I think, was only sort of 3 or 4 kilos, and I think the Nazgul was about 7 or 8 kilos, maybe a little bit more. I can't remember exactly. Both of these are 1/6 scale, both shipped from the EU, from Weta's warehouse in the EU. All these pieces I've bought direct from the manufacturer, by the way, but Weta obviously have an EU warehouse. Okay, this is where it gets interesting. Galadriel worked out at 31.8%. The weigh bill for Galadriel was 31.8% of the price that I paid for her. And the Nazgul was 27.7%. The weigh bill was 27.7% of the price of the statue. Averaging 29.75% across the two pieces. So 30% practically. Now, I think that makes a very interesting reading. So what I was told a couple of 3 years ago, to me, reads as right. What that guy told me at the time, I can't remember who it was, because 1/6 scales clearly come out at 30%. The weigh bill is 30%, whereas the quarter scales and half scales come out, well, the quarter scales come out at 5% each, and the half scale for some reason came out at 13%. But then you go to the Balrog, which has got no scale, practically 30%. It's there in black and white. I've calculated it all out. So, for me, I can only go by what I'm going to do from now on. Whenever I'm buying, I'm literally going to go through all my pre-orders. Not today. I want to have my tea and I want to have a cup of tea and I want to relax. I'm going to calculate all my pre-orders and what I think the weigh bills will be, and then I'll do a video in the future when they come out, and we'll see how close I was to getting an approximate price of what I think my weigh bill would be. But certainly going forward from this to sat there doing that, from now on I'm going to calculate my weigh bills on quarter scale ups. I'm going to allow about 10% of the price of the statue as my weigh bill, and 1/6 and smaller I'm going to calculate it at 30%. And yeah, makes me sort of think, oh my god, my Escape from the Road piece is going to cost a bit. Bloody hell, just think if that's right, just think that Iron Studios Jaws piece we talked about in the video, well, I talked about. Yeah, it was so funny actually. It's just reminded me. Somebody commented and said about one of my videos, "Oh, they said it's great." He said, "I love watching your video." He said, "It's like being around at your mate's house talking about statues, but it's all one way, of course, because they can't say anything back, or you can't say anything back." And I actually sort of chuckled myself and thought, to be honest with you, mate, if you were sat here, that'd be the case anyway. It'd be me rabbiting and you listening, so it's actually not that different as you might think. Completely lost my train of thought now. Yeah, so yes, that's Jaws, that Iron Studio, which is $3,000. That means if my calculations are correct on obviously this is coming to the UK. I can only work out stuff coming to the UK. So I've got EU prices coming to the UK from Asia coming to the UK, and I assume if it was coming from the States, it'll be the same. The tax is the same. The way bills are worked out the same. That'd be $900. That'd be on a $3,000 statue. That's $900 way bill. Gee, wow, that is frightening if that's accurate. So I'd be interested to hear some of you lot go and work out, if you work out your percentages, if yours comes out the same. And obviously, if you live in the States or if you live in Australia, or your tax might be set differently, but this is what it is certainly coming into the UK. So yeah, that's something worth thinking about, isn't it? So yeah, those figures I've given you there are as damn close to accurate as I could work out for what I've paid on the pieces I received in 2021. And the percentages of each of my way bills that I had coming into the UK. Like I say, I can't tell you what you'll pay in another country because I don't know how I don't know how our taxes work. But this video really is just to outline it to you. So any of you who might be thinking about buying, something and having it import. Oh, that's what I was going to mention as well. The same now applies to any. This is mainly to the UK people. I think I mentioned it briefly when I bought that piece off eBay. Now on eBay, if you buy something from EU, when you get to checkout at PayPal, so you buy your piece, you've agreed on the price and the postage. When you get to PayPal, it's more because they stick the tax on. That's the issue I had with that piece, because the guy had altered it for some reason. So the price was the same. It's something to do with postage and to do with Brexit. But when I got to PayPal, I was like, dude, this is like 28 quid more than we agreed. What's going on? And in the end, the guy who was selling it me, who was a power seller in France, and it was pretty clued up and was able to go away and work it all out for me. And he come back and said, yeah, he said, you're being charged the import fee now at checkout. So for any UK people who might be buying stuff through eBay, you just be aware of that. Be aware of that, because yeah, that happened to me. I did mention it on that one, I think, when I did the video on that. I think I did anyway. So yeah, guys, I hope that's been helpful. Obviously, to say people outside the UK, I don't know how your taxes work and things like that, but I just felt it was worth making you aware. And thank you to whoever it was who gave me the idea for doing this. I think it was a very good idea and quite poignant. And I'm really glad I sat down last night while watching the darts and worked those figures out, because it's given me a pretty clear idea of how the way bills are worked out on a percentage on pieces. I certainly think, without question, scale comes into it. The scale of the piece you're buying comes into it. So yeah, food for thought on that one. I'd be interested to see what some of you guys come up with if you got your calculations and what you come up with on that. And like I say, I'm going to sit and go through all my pre-orders, all of them, and I'm going to work out what I think, and I'm going to give you a prediction before any of them come of what I think my way bills are going to be, and then we can have a little bit of a, when the unboxing's done, see how close I got and see if what I'm predicting is correct. So how about that then? We'll do that. Okay, I am fully aware that once again I'm going off the rails. I'm waffling. Like I say, I've not long come back from work, and I just really wanted to smack this video out quickly, because I thought, well, it's a superb idea, and I worked all that stuff out last night, so I wanted to do it while it was fresh in my head. Again, thank you to every one of you who has subscribed. Please drop comments, anything you want me to bring up, anything you want discussed, any thoughts you might have, anything else. I try and answer every comment I get. If for any reason I haven't commented it, it's probably because I haven't seen it. Well, it will be because I haven't seen the comment. For some reason, my notifications don't always come up. I don't know why. And also, I've had a couple of people saying they've left comments and the comment's been removed. I categorically assure you that is not me. For some reason, YouTube seems to remove certain comments. I have no idea why. So, I'm going to wrap this one up, and I hope you're all having a lovely evening, and 2022 has started off really good for you all. Loads of content coming up. Keep the comments coming, guys. As always, huge thanks to each and every one of you. You know the stuff, like, share, comment, blah, blah, blah. I know I've just done that. I'm going, and let you all enjoy your evenings. Okay, take care. I'll catch you all on the next video. Thanks a lot.